already been saying, the Department of Forestry cannot do everything by its own because it hasn't got all the resources to do this. So having other people outside coming to complement what we are doing will go a long way in helping us achieve our forestry or our forest policy.
Trees are a vital necessity to our very existence, yet in the Smiling Coast they stand for more than one thing, and as such vast forests have been protected and deforestation attracts criminal charges. But in endeavors to maintain the country's natural diversity, even forestry officials realize they need more than just one hand on deck. Uminjai, GRTS.
A mission to stop cyberbullying, Canadian police seek to tighten the noose on online predators preying on children. We'll look at that story and others around the world after this short break. Welcome back. A raging debate over whether the U.S. should continue its $1.3 billion in military aid to Egypt is splitting opinion in Washington. CNN's World Affairs correspondent Jill Doherty gives us more on the latest political debate shaping U.S. policy on the Egyptian crisis.
The Egyptian military's bloody battle against opposition demonstrators is fueling pressure in the U.S. to suspend military assistance. Senator John McCain says the U.S. cannot be complicit in the mass slaughter of civilians.
Our law clearly states that if it's a military coup, then aid is cut off.
President Barack Obama won't go that far yet, or pull the plug on the $1.3 billion in military assistance the U.S. gives Egypt every year. That includes hardware like M1A1 Abrams tanks and F-16 fighter jets, servicing and technical support, as well as military training. Cutting aid could end up cutting money to American defense contractors. After all, the U.S. doesn't hand over cash to Egypt. It keeps it in a trust fund administered by the Treasury Department. Egypt decides what equipment it wants to buy, and the money gets paid to those contractors who provide jobs for Americans, like the tank manufacturer in Lima, Ohio, and the F-16 manufacturer in Fort Worth, Texas. Israel, too, is nervous, officials telling CNN that cutting military aid to Egypt could hurt Israel and the region. Egypt is one of only 2 Arab countries, along with Jordan, that made peace with Israel in 1978. And Israel now sees the Egyptian military as the only stable force keeping the country from chaos and extremism.
The Egyptian military has certainly helped defend the Sinai against the jihadists who have been plotting to launch attacks from Egypt, from the Sinai into Israel.
Another possible effect of cutting military aid, weakening security for the Suez Canal, a crucial sea route for more than 4% of the world's oil supply and 8% of seaborne trade. Egypt controls the canal, its troops guard it. The way some like Senator McCain see it, this is a battle between U.S. strategic interests and moral values. And so far, for President Obama, strategic interests are winning. Jill Doherty, CNN, Washington.
Police in Canada have stepped up efforts to hunt down people who use the internet to prey on children. CNN's Paula Newton has more on that.
Amanda Todd could take no more. The Canadian teenager killed herself after being bullied online. This YouTube video she posted is evocative and blunt, her pain obvious. The kind of pain Rehtaeh Parsons, another Canadian teenager, knew so well. Parsons killed herself in April. Her family says she too was tormented by months of bullying after a photo of her alleged sexual assault was distributed online.
What are we seeing in real time here?
We see here, and you know, over a amount of time, you're going to see this in any major city, whether that's Toronto, New York City, or London.
This is a snapshot of the online trading of child sexual abuse material and child pornography being spied on by Canadian police. And Sergeant Arnold Guerin takes us through the minefield of predators children can be exposed to online every day, even if they believe they are only sharing with their friends.
They end up on the dirtier and darker parts of the internet, being traded by people who have a sexual interest in the material.
Pedophiles have gotten a hold of it.
They could be people who have an interest in child abuse material. That may not be the teenager that they thought.
Canadian police tell us this kind of cybercrime is socially and personally destructive to children and afford pedophiles access to them in an unprecedented way.
Well, there's actually three components to the child exploitation unit here.
Inspector Bob Bresch from Canada's Child Exploitation Coordination Centre takes us through his unit, where officers work with international partners. Their first priority, finding the victims, then the abusers. And these people are gathering evidence on real cases of child exploitation right now.
That's correct. And their predominant focus here is to find the suspect, find the abuser.
Their most sensitive work is in the undercover unit, officers spying on gruesome material of child sexual abuse.
They're just beyond comprehension that people would want to see or look at or watch these type of things.
Here, they try and hunt down those child predators and identify child victims to make sure they are safe again. Now, if you want you to come with me, I want you to meet someone. I can't tell you his name, but we are going to talk to him. He is working right now to identify child victims on the internet. This officer says he's seen it time and again. Kids being abused, manipulated online, blackmailed by predators.
They'll go, if you don't pose naked again, I'll give it to all your friends. And then, of course, the girl or boy are sitting there going, oh my God, like I don't want my dad to get this video. So they'll do it.
Again and again they will be abused this way. It all serves as an explicit warning to children and parents.
The experience that we've gained here, and by speaking to offenders, we know that there are people out there specifically looking for children that they can abuse. They trade methods of luring children. They speak to each other. They plan amongst themselves, and afterwards they show their conquests.
Parents never find out about it?
Some do, but most of them don't.
The death of these Canadian teens serves as a reminder that online predators can emotionally and physically harm children, many spying on the lives of young kids and just waiting to exploit their vulnerabilities online. Paula Newton, CNN, Ottawa.
Area 51 has been the focus of rumors involving aliens and UFOs for decades in the U.S. Well, now the U.S. government is revealing secrets about the base. The truth is out there, and Dan Simon has it.
Hollywood has long showed an obsession with Area 51.
Welcome to Earth.
From aliens to UFOs, it helped fuel a perception that the government has been holding on to top secret information about this remote facility in the Nevada desert. Until now, it had only really existed in places like the X-Files on television. But newly released CIA documents officially acknowledge the site for the first time. Annie Jacobson spent several years researching Area 51, publishing her findings in a book.
This has kind of become a national pastime and a great debate, you know, about aliens. And the locus of this is Area 51.
But if you're looking to gain insight into aliens or spaceships, you might be disappointed. The report makes no mention of those things. Instead, it says that Area 51 was a testing site for the government's aerial surveillance programs during the Cold War. Not that sensational, but it's likely to cause more fascination about this mythical place.
I think any document that comes out about Area 51 stirs up the pot of intrigue. People are inherently fascinated with Area 51. It says so much about national security secrets. So I think any new release makes people even more interested.
The documents obtained through a public records request by an academic researcher may put an end to questions about the site's existence. But experts like former CIA officer Bob Baer, who calls it one of the agency's biggest secrets, says the debate will rage on about whether we're really alone.
No, this isn't going to go away. The myths about Area 51 will always be out there. I don't even know what went on there. And I was in the CIA a very long time, and people that worked out there have told me